But I mean, like, I kind of like talking about this hypothetical. I don't like talking. I don't want to say that because people are going to be up in arms over that. I don't like talking about it, but it's fun to talk about. It's interesting. It's thought provoking to think about what would happen if Sabonis wasn't there. And this would be where it gets less fun because it would be pretty ugly when you start thinking about an emergency plan for a play style overall, mostly offensively, obviously, even as an anchor defensively. Overall, what would happen if Sabonis wasn't there? And if you're talking about home starting, would you be seeing a team that looks a little bit more like Luke Walton's teams? Or
you would have to. I mean, the offense runs through Sabonis. He is the offense of that team. And Fox is kind of his like score first guy. Like he's gonna get his buckets on his own. And he's a good playmaker, but nowhere close to Sabonis' level, right? So, and then you take out Sabonis himself, and he's a good scorer outside of his playmaking. So now the load's going to fall all back on Fox, minus like a good scoring center you can run a pick and roll with. So I don't know. Fox, if Sabonis does not play tonight or tomorrow night, it's just going to be, I don't know. I honestly would have a hard time believing the Kings would win unless Fox just really steps it up. And that's something I think Fox has struggled with lately, is stepping up when he's needed to. But I don't know. It's going to, the bulk of the offense and the workload is going to fall on him. And it's going to see if he can step up. And he can't just step up. He's going to have to take it to the next level to beat a team like the Nuggets. Are they? I mean, I'm assuming
they're the first in the West. Yeah. They're really good.
It's going to be a tough game.
Yeah.
I would hope Fox. I think you were saying this before the podcast started, but I mean, if this is the time, because he kind of fell out of favor with his All-Star, maybe All-Star bid this year, just because of that 10-game stretch that brought down his numbers. But if Sabonis is out, this is his time to maybe up that bid a little, show like, hey, you know what, I can take over this team if needed. Because Sabonis we had this debate earlier this year where it's like, who's the better player, Fox or Sabonis? And we're kind of like back and forth for the first 3 weeks. But for the last month, it's like, yeah, it's Sabonis. And
just think about the conversation we're having.
Yeah, exactly.
What would they be doing? Like without Fox, they figured it out.
Exactly. So,
like Mitchell, Monk, guys like that can kind of fill in for Fox in a certain way.
Yeah.
And in a certain way, I feel like if Sabonis was out, I would be asking, man, I feel like Monk would be playing like 40 minutes a game.
Yeah.
Because you need that extra facilitator out there.
Yeah.
You'd almost feel like you'd be playing smaller.
You would have to. Because Monk's your next best facilitator between Fox and Sabonis.
Yeah, he honestly might be better than Fox this year.
Yeah, honestly. And Mitchell Mitchell wasn't too bad at the end of last year.
No, yeah. And Mitchell steps up when in certain situations. Yeah, I feel like he has a tendency to do that.
Yeah.
Just off.
And he's a great starter for some reason too.
Yeah.
Mitchell.
Yeah.
I'll score 30.
And he's always setting the tone defensively. It makes a big difference. It really goes a long way.
Yeah. But
it would be so ugly though. I'm sorry. It would just be so ugly. I don't know what they'd have to be in such a high tempo all the time.
Yeah.
They could not get in the half court because once they do that, it's just like, even when you see them with Sabonis doing that lately, it has not been pretty. So It's like without him, it's like,
yeah.
Now everybody's guarded by their guy. There's no open man. Nobody's collapsing on Sabonis. So that'd be a problem. And they'd just be collapsing on Fox. So you'd have to hope that they're shooting over 40% from three.
and we're talking about all this and saying it out loud and just like,
that's not good.
Yeah, Sabonis is playing.
Yeah, Sabonis has to play.
Yeah, he has to.
Like Mike Brown's like, you can play, and Sabonis is going to go, yeah. He's like, he's not going to question him.
No, you can't.
You're all right.
Not against the Nuggets.
No.
Yeah, you have to. You don't have to, but especially after those Charlotte and Washington losses, you have to split these two games.
It's huge.
Maybe if they win tonight, maybe Sabonis like, all right, like my hand hurts a little from banging down with Jokic all night.
Whoa, what were you doing with Jokic?
Dude, he was getting down.
Has Nickel ever looked in your eyes? They're beautiful. They're beautiful eyes. Those Serbian eyes.
But maybe you sit him. Maybe you sit him after if you win the first game.
Yeah,
I don't know. Because I mean,
he might feel something after a game. That's a good point.
I can
and
imagine.
if they can walk away and win one game against the Nuggets, I mean, it's pretty good. But again, if you're talking about being the team that you want to be, if you were in a playoff series against, I don't care who it is, and you had a home court advantage, and you had those first 2 games at home, you have to win those first 2 games. You got to find a way to do it. So I feel like even just if they win a game, they got to go just as hard to win that second game. They got to prove to themselves, and they got to prove to the rest of the league that they're like dangerous. That beam is lethal. That beam will blow up your house.
That's fair. I don't know. I feel like I'm a
that kind of escalated
guy.
Quickly because I was just commenting on what you were saying in terms of like, well, because that's kind of smart. I mean, like that's just in terms though of under the circumstance of maybe Sabonis feels a little sore or feels a little tender on his thumb, you know?
Yeah,
which would be smart. But again, it's like bring it.
I say don't risk Sabonis' injury.
That would be smart.
It would be smart. And I don't know, at the end of the day, maybe not something Kings fans want to hear. You give me Denver or Kings in a 4-game series, I have a hard time seeing the Kings winning that. At least right now. This is the first year the Kings are trying to get into the playoffs. To me, that's the number one goal. And whatever they do afterwards, it's just, icing on the cake, right?
I don't think you're crazy for saying that at all.
No.
But.
And, it's hard to admit, but I mean, I think the Kings aren't so much worried about focusing on like, all right, it's proving to the league that look at us. Like, I mean, they are in that sense, but like they're not trying to say like they're a top 3 team in this league. They're in the stage in it's not rebuilding process, it's just the process of trying to make the playoffs, being like we're here, like we're gonna put up a fight, and we can be, we're gonna make some noise, real noise too, not just like we can like beat the Sixers one night and then lose the next 10 games.
Well, can they beat the Sixers?
It's
another great center.
Yeah.
This is going to be the backup center, regardless if Sabonis is playing or not. That's just going to be exacerbated by another good center matchup.
Dude, can we just appreciate? We're just talking about Sabonis so much. Just like appreciate how good he's been.
He's so good.
He's been insane.
I was thinking about it earlier today. I was like, man, Mike Brown is this defensive coach. And it's like, you'd think if I were Mike Brown and you had were presented with 5 different centers maybe or something like that. And one of them was Gobert and one of them was Sabonis, And it's just like, you'd think the defensive coach would go with Gobert. I feel like Mike Brown would go with Sabonis because it makes his job so much easier.
Yeah.
He doesn't have to worry about the offense.
No.
Just say, Jay Triano, call the play. And Jay's got a freaking pencil or something he pulls out of his pocket, and he's like, I got to play here, and he and he got a play written up the Canadian, and everything's good. And Mike Brown can go ahead and chide with Jordy Fernandez and figure out what the hell's going on defensively.
Yeah.
But freaking Domas has it locked down offensively. It makes everybody's life so much easier. You can hear it when Mike Brown talks about it. He's like, that guy does everything. He goes so hard. Makes my life so much easier.
Yeah.
Fox says that about him. Everybody says that about him. Everybody benefits.
He's
especially in terms of the offense.
And he's getting national recognition. I mean, some people are throwing him in MVP.
He's got to be at least in the talks. He's not like
he won't win it, but
right.
he's kind of in the. He's like a dark horse runner right now. I was like, who's that guy? Zach Lowe, I think, from The Athletic. Zach Lowe on The Athletic.
Bleach Report.
He was
one of the two.
It was someone who's the big athletic guy. That's not Shams. Kevin O'Connor, maybe.
I don't know.
It was someone they threw out, they had this algorithm that figures out the best players. I don't know how they figured it out, but Sabonis was they were saying that he was the 4th best player in the NBA right now, based off of this data, right? And I believe it too. That dude's crazy. And so, I don't know. It just feels nice. He's leading the league in rebounds. He's leading the league in double-doubles.
He's so good.
Yeah. Back-to-back triple-doubles.
I was just telling someone, I'm like, regardless of what the hell's ever going on, it's like, just watching Sabonis, it's like, I feel like I'm watching one of the best basketball players I've ever watched.
Yeah.
He goes down as one of my favorite players.
Yep.
If he keeps playing, as long as I'm subjected to him this way, it's just it's so pretty to watch him play.
Yeah.
It's stupid.